By the end of this video.
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 Because by the end of this video.
Not just at the big viewpoints, but along the trail as well.
Not just a house, but a testament.
Not just using AI, but actually orchestrating AI.
Not just a worker, but a family.
Let's dive into the details.
Let's dive into the illusion of thinking.
So let's dive into the configuration.
Let's dive into the first piece of the puzzle.
So let's dive into how these new capabilities.
They call it divine intervention.
Kim, that is very interesting. Let's dive into this one just a little bit deeper.
So, it's not hard evidence, but there are jaw-dropping moments that had patriots praying and redcoats kneeling.
By the end of this video.
Let's dive into.
My newest YouTube video exploded in popularity, but as I saw the views and the likes climb, I didn't really feel good. Instead, I felt a pit in my stomach, this overwhelming anxiety, this dread, because of the truth. That entire script was not written by me, it was written by AI. Right now, that video has 40,000 views and 650 comments, and out of all of those people, only 3 knew it was AI. 40,000 people, only 3 knew. So this made me wonder, am I the only person doing this? Out of all those YouTube videos we see, how many of them are actually just written by AI? So as a computer science student, I decided to investigate. With my RTX 3090 in hand and $40 spent on proxies, I started web scraping. I scraped tens of thousands of videos, and then for each and every one of them, I ran an AI slop detector. And this is what I found out. Look at this graph right here. It's not great. As you can see, since late 2025, AI videos have been increasing rapidly in frequency. And based off of this inaccurate look at around 10,000 final filtered videos, it looks like maybe 2% of videos are AI generated. But if you look at the frequency, again, it's an increase over time. So if you look at the breakdown by genre, the results make a lot of sense. The videos most likely to be AI are informational content that's delivered with narration. So for example, people in blogs, education, science and technology. And I would also say that my previous video fits into these categories. On the other hand, the videos that are least likely to be AI are either things where there's a lot of work put into them, like film and animation, where it wouldn't make sense to use AI, or where it's recording something else, like with sports and gaming. But the most interesting question to me is who's making all of these AI videos. There's the expected answer, which is that there's these big AI slop channels that are faceless and use AI narration, which is true some of the time. But on the other hand, I even found this example of where it's just a couple old guys talking history. And based off of that, you would never expect it to be AI, but it is. So first of all, who is Peter Whitmore? Well, according to his bio, he's 73 years old and sharing the life lessons he learned the hard way so that you don't have to. But somehow, I don't think this is entirely honest. Once you go to his channel page, you realize almost immediately that it's slop. According to the creator, they're an old man, but there's videos from the perspective of an old woman and another younger woman that are completely unrelated to that old man with no explained connection. And to be fair, some of the older videos on this channel have a disclaimer that they're AI generated, but they're still really scary. The talking head style almost looks realistic, and you could almost believe it's a real person talking to you. And despite those older videos having it, if you look at the newer videos being produced, they actually don't have this AI disclaimer. And a lot of the comments don't even realize that it's AI. And this is just the worst case scenario. It's a slop factory producing video after video with sort of empty platitudes that aren't even connected to any real life events that have happened. The next example, which is kind of sad in my opinion, is Revolutionary War Rarities. It was created by the Sons of the American Revolution in 2022, and it started as this podcast where people would go on and talk about things that happened in the revolution, and then they would also have interviews, they would look at historical artifacts and go to historical locations. But eventually, by season 3, episode 24, they actually used AI to write the script. And not only that, as time progressed, they went on to use more and more AI until they created entire videos with AI doing the speaking, the narration, everything. And it ended up with a different type of content. Almost all just the conversational content, missing out on the artifacts and the interviews that really made it interesting. And it was just kind of sad to see. So what can we take away from all of this? Well, first of all, there are definitely videos being entirely generated with AI. Second of all, there are channels that initially put work and effort into creating these wonderful videos with artifacts and all of this wide variety of stuff that have turned just into AI slop. And then lastly, everybody is doing this. Even the sons of the American Revolution are using AI for their videos. The sons of the American Revolution, and no offense to these guys, but they're old and they're doing it. So with AI videos everywhere now, how can you even identify them? So I would say, in my opinion, the most accurate detector is GPT-0, but it's closed source, meaning that we can't run it on our own computers, and they charge a lot of money. But that's one good way to check a video. You can extract the YouTube video's transcript by going to any of these websites, and then you can upload it to GPT-0, and that will give you a confidence level. But another option, and what I did to look at tens of thousands of videos, is I used something called FastGPT, and with that I used the Llama 3 8 billion models. This is just an open source way that was still run on the transcripts of these videos. And besides those two things, as you interact with AI more, you tend to learn the vibe that it has. It likes saying, not X, but Y, or it could say the tapestry of this, or another example is, let's dive into this topic. And those are just a few things. But again, as you see this on the internet more, hopefully you'll start to develop an intuition of it. But something very unfortunate is that even if you identify a video as AI, there's not a good way to communicate it to other people. You can leave a comment on the video, but the author of the video can just hide that comment. You can try to report the video, but there's no option to flag it for AI use. And the author themselves can flag a video as AI generated, but as for example with the old man I had before, in the beginning they did use that flag, but at some point they just stopped caring. So a really important question to consider is whether all of this is ethical. To help judge that, I came up with a framework to see how much AI is used in a video. At level 1, that's when the script is entirely written by AI, and there's no fact-checking going on. And at level 1, a lot of the time, it's not even a human speaking, rather it's some AI text-to-speech. At level 2, that's when the script is still written entirely by AI, but it's a human speaking it, and there is some fact-checking going on. And for my last video, I would say that's level 2. Lastly, there's level 3, with the least amount of AI usage. This is where the primary content, the script or outline, is written by a human, not an AI. But AI is still used in auxiliary ways. Basically, it could be for creating a graph or for writing code that was useful for the video, not the script itself. So given that system, I would say obviously level 1 has serious issues. When you're entirely generating the script with AI and not putting any thought into fact checking, it is just whatever goes. When it comes to level 2, things get a little bit more murky. Again, level 2 is like my last video, where I didn't write the script, but I did fact checking. So you could say that the fact checking kind of makes it alright because it's not straight up disinformation, but there's kind of a fundamental problem to using AI to write these sort of things. Basically, writing this with AI allows me to talk about anything that I may not be an expert on or even have any knowledge about. I could make a video about the pyramids not knowing anything, having ChatGPT write the script. The problem is I wouldn't know how to correct something about the height of this pyramid or this little bit of information that requires expertise because I don't have that expertise. So it doesn't really encourage you to talk about what you know. Instead, you just talk about whatever. When it comes to level 3, this is okay. You might be using graphics for the video, but at least you're writing the script yourself. And because of that, you probably have the information that'll allow you to find issues with that auxiliary content. And another issue with levels 1 and 2, where the script is written by AI, is that it's just disingenuous. If I'm talking to you, looking at the camera, saying some words, you expect the things coming out of my mouth to be ideas that I've had, not from some machine. So let me reflect on my personal experience using AI for my last video. The most troubling thing is that it just did so very well. Before that, there were videos like the Happiness Black Pill where I put my heart and soul into them, writing the script, putting exactly what I wanted onto the screen, and people didn't really care. On the other hand, I had AI write this thing up, and I still put work into the editing, but it just exploded in popularity. And it's like this totally wrong incentive that makes me want to use it more. And it's not just that it's more successful. Again, it's a lot easier. I don't have to do the work of researching and writing. I just click the button and watch it go. But even though there's this incentive network that seems to drive me to make more videos that are written by AI, I've committed not to. And with that 3-level system I talked about, I'm going to stay at level 3. I will use AI to come up with auxiliary stuff like graphs, but the core research will be done by me, and I'm going to talk about things that I'm interested in and have at least some knowledge about. So what can we conclude from all of this? Well, first of all, YouTubers are using AI to write their scripts, and by and large, it's not a good thing. It's getting worse over time. And in terms of what we can do, all we can really do is identify when videos are written by AI by looking for those key tells and avoiding them. We can also hope that YouTube will add features that will allow users to flag videos as AI generated. Anyways, this was quite a thing to talk about, and I think it was really driven by my guilt after seeing the success of the last video. So maybe you guys will hate me at this point, and that is somewhat justifiable, but in the future, again, I'm not going to use AI to write my scripts, and I hope to be able to have my own voice and to be able to do more things like this in the future.